Alright, y'all. What is going on? So, we're going to a new gym today. Not really new, because it's the YMCA, so I've always been here. But this is a new YMCA. I don't know how I haven't known about this, because right now I'm staying up at my grandma's house. But, there's a Y literally 3 minutes down the road, like 4 minutes. And I've been going to a Y or this other gym for like, whatever not.
Flood warning
for
affected
like the
area
past,
ahead. Please proceed with caution.
Couple days, and they're like 13, 15 minutes away. I thought they were the closest ones. I didn't know there was one right here down the road, right by Kroger too, which is where I need to go right afterwards. So it's like, it's super convenient. So I'm gonna go here today and then see what it's about, see what kind of leg day, maybe chest kind of day activities they got going on here. Back day, whatever I can really do. I'm not gonna do that obviously, but I'm gonna check it out. Like if I see like a unicorn machine, I might as well try it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can have the availability to try something new, which at the Ys, I mean, you're typically not gonna find some crazy machines. Like you're gonna see a lot of standard machines. Like usually there's always a certain brand that the Y has, but there is certain machines like in there's another Y that has the D handle lat pull down one. That's crazy. I wish they had the rowing machine version of it, which everyone uses that I see. If they have that machine that's available, they always use it, and I would love to use it as well if I could. But that machine I would definitely use. But yeah, the YMCA, you'll definitely find a couple cool machines, but they're gonna have a lot of standard, typical, your basics, not anything too crazy. But in terms of leg day today, I think it's gonna be a lot of extensions and curling rather than pressing movements. Now I gotta do my RDLs again, but this week I'm gonna go stay the same way. I'm not gonna go up. I'm gonna stay at like 175, maybe 170 today, because my back hurts a little bit, flared up. But I'm gonna do literally just walking cardio today. There's no basketball, no nothing today. That could potentially flare it up again. So I'm not gonna have any risk of injury or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, overall the plan's gonna stay the same. Like I said, just work hard, work intense, and get after it. I'm gonna talk to you guys real quick about something, but warming up, very essential for your workouts. For one, like I've heard people, and I had a buddy who trained like this, thought warming up was a waste of time. He would go from literally nothing to go to his top set of whatever he was doing. I don't know how you really feel the connection as much too, because warm-up sets are also a great quote-unquote feel thing, right? If you're doing like a lat row or something, I would want to like really dig into my lats and feel what I'm doing first, because I know how to correctly like execute and want to hit like a back day or whatever. But if I if I want to really get that extra squeeze, I'll do a couple I don't know why I'm so congested. A couple feel sets, just really see how it is. I don't think there's anybody here. Is that the Y? I don't know. Is that the Y? No, that's not. Okay. But yeah, warm-up sets are great for mind-muscle connection, and there's not as much risk for injury. You get more of a sweat going on because you're doing more reps. You're doing more movement. So overall, there's no downfall of literally doing warm-ups. And I don't mean you need to do like a 30-minute mobile warm-up to like get warm or anything. Just literally do the movement that you're about to do a couple times, a few reps, and then you're good. Now, I think you should warm up a little more, like do some rotator cuff stuff if you're working on chest, rather than just doing a couple pressing movements, kind of a little weight before you get up to your top set. But, just be smart with your training and train hard. That's really it at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you, like I said, to do 30 million reps before you get into your actual set, but I think that everyone should warm up, no matter your age, no matter your you know, progress of where you're at in the gym, you should always warm up, you know, because like I said, why would you want to risk being injured? That's so pointless. You know, I can definitely understand a guy who's like, okay, I have 20 minutes to get into the gym. That's a little bit more understandable to be like, okay, you don't have much time to really do anything, and you need to do compound lifts and warm up on those compound lifts. Warm up for literally 2 minutes. Just get a band of some sort. Let's say you're doing a bench day. Get a band and, like, you know, do a lot of shoulder things, and then really just get into it then. So, you know, like I said, be smart with your training. Don't neglect your body. You know what I'm saying? You only get one of them, for real. So, this is a small looking Y. I'm kind of like interested to see how this is gonna be. Yeah, we'll see. So, yeah. So yeah, just with warming up though, just be smart. Like I said, if you like, you know, if you're a type of guy who like hates warming up, like let's just say it's one reason, like let's just say you're a guy who is like, he likes the gym a lot, but you know, the warming up, really, you just hate it. Literally just take 2 minutes out of your day. You don't have to even do any rotator cuff thing. Just literally do some arm circles and some of these and some toe touches and stuff, and you'll be all right. It's a little better than doing nothing at all, because warming up is super beneficial. Like I said, you're going to get so many things out of it. One, you're going to get less injury risk. You're going to get mind-muscle connection, and you're going to get a little bit more sweat going on, so you're going to burn more calories. Not significant, but more than nothing at all. So, we're going to get into it now. I'll see you guys in there. Alright, so right before this we did RDLs, which focuses a lot on the hamstrings and the spinal erectors. But now we're going to be focusing on the quads. We're going to be doing 2 sets, and on this set specifically, we're going to be doing a drop set. Really focusing on squeezing on the way up, getting a deep stretch on the way down. But we're going to be training around the 5 to 12 rep range. And on the drop set, it's kind of the same thing. So don't go anything above, like, I'd say 13 reps, and don't go anything below, like, 4 reps. Now we're going to be focusing on the adductors, which is the inside part of your leg. It gives you like that wide look to your legs. Going heavy and hard on this as well. Making sure we're going as far out as we can possible with our legs comfortably. Making sure you get a deep stretch on the way back. So focus on the frog stretch, or just focus on opening up your hips and adductors to get the most out of this movement specifically. But on the last couple reps, just kind of help yourself by pushing your legs in as far as possible. And we're going to be doing 2 sets and going a little lighter on the second set. Alright, we're done. We got about 20 minutes of cardio, 25 minutes, probably 20. I'm not gonna. Drop my AirPod. But I'm not gonna go as quote unquote hard, but technically just as long with cardio, because I'm not as lean as I want to be yet, but I'm getting there. So I just want to slow it down just a little bit.
My legs looking pretty solid. I'm about, I think I'm like 192-ish right now. So from where I was 8 pounds down, that's pretty solid, you know. Kept my muscle mass, obviously, because the whole thing with cutting is a lot of people think that you're gonna, you know, cut out just tons of fat in the first, you know, however long. But it's a lot of it in the beginning, especially the first couple weeks. A lot of it's just water weight, you know. And then it turns into fat. And then if you go too long and too much, you'll burn muscle, right? Your body will start eating at your muscle mass. They're doing some work, I don't know. But that's the thing with cutting that a lot of people, I think, get wrong. And why I think, like the Ozempic era now isn't the best. Because, yeah, you're going to lose weight. But it's not going to translate to some sort of, like, Baki anime lean character, you know. You're going to just lose a lot of muscle mass, and then it's going to turn into a lot of body dysmorphia, right? So how I think you should appropriately cut and maintain is you're around, you know, you can see your abs, that's around 11% body fat. You know, sometimes 12, 13, depends on how your body fat's distributed, right? Some people could get really lean arms first and then have, you know, still the gut, but some people could have really lean abs, but then still have fat on their arms, right? Not everyone's the same, so that's why it's kind of hard to tell how much body fat you are. You can't really compare yourself to a lot of other people, but you can tell definitely with someone's like 6'5%, right? They're stage lean, they're ready to go to a bodybuilding prep. But when it comes to just overall, obviously you want to be happy with the weight on the scale, but most importantly, it depends on how you feel and how you look, right? You could be 160 pounds, but if you love the way you look and you feel great at that, who's to say that's not what you should be at? Now, you can obviously go up from there, add more muscle mass. You can get to like 170 and feel the exact same with time, you know, because a lot of guys, what they do, and I'm saying specifically men, because, you know, especially with the Sam Sulek, if you're 200 pounds, your victim weight, that's, you know, that kind of ruined a lot of people's self-image when it comes to like body weight. You don't have to be 200 pounds. I was 200 pounds, felt great, but now I'm a lot leaner, right? Feel a lot better, more mentally clear. That's the weird thing about when you get more lean, when you get more dialed and cut, is you feel more mentally sharp. It's super weird. Like when I was 210 at my heaviest, and I had still my abs and everything, but, you know, overall I wasn't like happy with the way I looked. It was just like, you know, my distribution for fat wasn't where I wanted to be at. So I cut back to 200, felt good. I lifted weights, you know, heavy. I'd say like my 205 is when I lifted my heaviest though, that's for sure. Because with this cut, you know, cut maintenance, whatever you want to call it, definitely a little weaker. But that's going to be part of it. It's kind of like you get pros and cons of both. If you get leaner, you get a little weaker. But if you get less lean, you get more strong. So it really just depends on your goals. Obviously, mine's bodybuilding, and I'm going to be going for a competition in the next year, right, or so. Just got to get timing all right, because I don't want to do a non-tested competition, and I'm the only natural guy there. That wouldn't be fun, right? Now, with everything said, even if I'm not trying to compete tomorrow, why wouldn't I want to just be leaner, right? Summer's coming up, right? Me and my girl, we're going to Myrtle Beach here in like a week and a half or so. I got a mom, dude. Not playing, but, you know, I mean, confidence is what it's all about, man. So if you feel more confident doing things with your shirt off, you're probably going to be in a more happy state, right? So I think being able to push yourself physically and mentally and spiritually, all those things, they all add together. But, I mean, you have this God-given talent of being able to push yourself physically, and that's one of the things that I hate for a lot of people, is they don't do that for themselves. They don't see the physical capabilities that they're available to. And then, you know, when they get old, a lot of people, like, whenever I see some older person in the gym, I'm so happy for them, because, I mean, that's like one of the most important times to work out. Working out is like one of the most important things you can do for yourself anytime. But especially when you get older, like, 50, 60, 70, and your bones start getting weaker and whatnot, your joints start getting more weak, these things will add up, especially then. When you're 70, you might not gain 20 pounds of lean muscle mass, but if you fall, you're not going to take as much damage as the guy who doesn't, right? That's why, I think this is so important for everybody, because, like I said, as your brain evolves, right, your body should as well. You get one thing super sharp up here, but if this isn't down here, if you're super sharp mentally, you should know how important it is to be physically sharp, right? That's just basic biological, knowledge. Back in the day, before we had, grocery stores, all that, we had to be physically ready to be able to go hunt food. And that's what, I'm not saying that's how we should live nowadays, caveman style. You say something to me I don't like, I'm going to beat you up. No. But, it's much better in your lifestyle to be more physically fit. That's why I always, what is there to lose? Exactly. You could say, you might get injured, but especially when you're a beginner, 99% of the time, I've seen people who deadlift with horrible form, and they're a beginner, obviously, so they're only doing 225 pounds, and they're rounding their back. They're not going to get hurt from that, because it's only 225 pounds, right? Now, you got other things like, I don't have time. That's bullcrap. Unless you have a family, you work 12-hour shifts, you're barely sleeping already as is, sure. But, just do push-ups at home. I'm not saying you have to do a marathon every day or come in here do what I do, which is the bodybuilding, low volume things. A quick 15-minute thing is all you need. Do 100 bodyweight squats, 100 push-ups, maybe some pull-ups, some crunches, and you're good. Do that every day, if that's all you can do, physically or timely, and then you'll be good. And for beginners, that's the best time to do it, because you're literally going to gain muscle mass and lose fat the fastest you've ever had in your life, which is the craziest thing. I remember when I first started, I gained 40 pounds in my first 6 months. And yeah, some of that was fat because I was super skinny. I was 115 pounds. But when it comes to just overall mass gained, I'm not gaining 40 pounds in 6 months. It's going to be all fat if I do now. So that's what I'm saying. Now, obviously, your genetics have definitely a say in what happens to you. But overall, you're not going to lose anything by trying in the gym, right? Even if you only gain 5-10 pounds in the first 6 months, that's 5-10 pounds gained. And, with that much progress, it's probably all going to be muscle, So that's just my opinion on all of it. I know I went a little ranty on that, but I got 8 more minutes left of cardio, so I got all the time to talk in the world. But after this, it's gonna be some door dashing, and then I gotta go to work after that. So, and then after work, we got door dashing to do. So we got a fun night ahead of us. But that's what I've said. Unless you have family and all that, you still have time, because I'm gonna be working about 9-10 hours today. And I'm still in here doing my cardio and my lift, right? And there will be certain days, not like today. I wanted to come in here, obviously, and most days I do. But you'll get days where, you'll be like, wow, I really don't want to do this today. I've been doing this for 4 years. And, I definitely had days where, I mentally just am not there, right? Maybe some stuff in my life happened, or, just overall motivation is down. Those are the days, and you've heard this numerous amounts of times, but those are the days where you'll definitely transcend into something that you didn't think that you would become that day, right? Just mentally more prepared, right? That's why this is so important too, because I think especially nowadays, people suffer with being mentally strong. And if you do something that you don't have to do necessarily, right? It's not a job where you're, it's like, I don't want to work, but you have to because of money. Well, Well, this, you don't even have to do it at all. You could be 200 pounds overweight, right? But what I think is, if you do this, for one, obviously, like I've said, you're going to gain muscle mass, you're going to lose fat, all that. But also, you're going to build that mental barrier being like, okay, I can do this. And you'll have struggles in your life, you know, let's say financially or, you know, relationship-wise, whatever it is. Those won't become as much of, not a burden, but just much of a more mentally, like your battery, right? Your battery isn't getting drained as much. You can handle those things. You can think properly around those things. You can think more logically, you know, understand. You can look at other sides better, you know. The one thing I can definitely say is, with the discipline I built in there, it allowed me to be a better partner for my partner, right? For my girl. So that's just one aspect, but then it allows me to be able to work longer at my job if I want to, because how my job works is whenever our area is done with our work, we're done, we can go home. They ask me, because I have higher seniority over there, do you want to go home? No, I want to work, right? So that's just one thing that will really help you, not only the physical aspect, but the mental aspect of being able to just kind of go through that, you know? Because what is, I just see no downfall in this, you know? I can go on and on and on about it, but, you know, like I said, just keep doing this every day. I mean, you've heard the saying of how it gets easier. No, it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. Now, I'm done ranting. I'm gonna leave you guys there. And I got about 4 more minutes of cardio. And then we're gonna get out of here, deliver some food, get back and eat some food. Actually, I gotta get back and make chicken and beef first. And then I gotta go DoorDash. And then I gotta go to work. So, after chicken and beef is done, I will be working. So, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.